Hi, this is our December scripture and scrapping. And the verse we're going to use is Psalm 100, verse 1 and 2. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. And I love this verse. And when I saw this really cute layout with the gingerbread fun project recipe, I thought of several different variations that could have that theme of singing and making a joyful noise. And so I'm going to show you one, the most popular one that was requested, which was the birdhouse. But I'll show you the others as well as the original. So we're going to use for the right hand side, we'll use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. In the project recipe, it says to cut out a frame and then put your 11 by 11 sheet of paper on top. But instead of that, because I really like this striped paper that I wanted to go around as the outside, and I did not have a full piece, I cut 1/2 inch borders that I'm just going to stick on instead. So you can do that if you don't want to use a full sheet and then put another sheet on top. So I'm going to add these around the 4 sides. I'm using the Birds and Blossoms paper pack. I have a little bit left. And I'm just putting these around the edges. After I'm finished, I will go ahead and probably miter the corners by cutting these where the things come together, the strips come together. But for tonight, right now, I'm going to just tape it down. And I am using the repositionable so I can fix it if I get a little bit off. So that gives a 1/2 inch frame all the way around. If you were doing the way the project recipe had, you use a 12-inch sheet, you cut an 11 by 11 sheet and lay it on top, or you can cut a frame out from underneath if you want to keep the rest. So there's your base. Then for the birdhouse itself, you cut a 8 by 10 sheet of paper. And you're going to mark at the top at the 4-inch mark, and then on the sides at the 5-inch mark. And then I'm going to cut from these marks to make the roof. And you can use your scissors or the trimmer. I'm going to do this trimmer because I don't always cut straight. This is not exactly any of the angles. You just have to line up your marks. And I did it on the back side of the paper so it wouldn't show the marks after I finished. So that gives your roof line. I think I made a mistake here. Excuse me just a minute. I think I was putting this on this. I forgot. So I'm going to switch this out and take my strips off. That's why it's good for repositionable. Because my birdhouse will not show up on that blue paper. So let's try that again. So here's my edges. I got these pieces together about a week or so ago, and I forgot exactly what I had planned, evidently. So we will try that again. But once I cut my piece, I realized that was not going to work. do that. All right, so now here we are again with our base sheet. We've got our birdhouse, and I'm going to center that up and tape it down. So I should have about 2 inches, let's see, yes, 2 inches on each side. So I'm going to line it up at the 2-inch mark and the 10-inch mark on my mat, approximately. Doesn't have to be perfect, but kind of helps you get it measured in. So we have, there's the birdhouse. Then you have 2 8 by 1 inch strips for your roof. So I'm going to stick those down next. And they had like a sticker or something over the top of it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just kind of overlap the roof. And they did not quite make the roof match up. So my roof will be a little less angled versus theirs, or a little less overlapping down here. Okay. In the project recipe, they stopped it about here, and then they covered the gap with a sheet, with a sticker. I'm just overlapping these edges so that they meet up. And it does go a little bit out of the frame, which is okay. It still doesn't go off the paper. Adding that, and I'll probably cut right here to give it that mitered look as well. Okay, so that's this part of the birdhouse. In the picture, it also has a circle for a photo, but because I wanted it to look really birdhouse, really realistic, I'm going to put the circle down here instead of up here with and not have a little door. So this is a circle cut with the largest circle with the red blade on the inside. I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to add a little perch down here. This is about a 3.5 by 3/4 inch strip, and I'm going to just add those down here. I did use some foam tape. I may find some stickers that would look nice up there, but I don't have them right now. And then I can add a photo in here, or I can add photos up here. But that is the main birdhouse. I'm going to scoot that over. And the second page has a base sheet, which is the one I started with earlier and you can step on. And then they have a 6 by 12 inch strip that they stick across the top. Then, you know, I realize you're not seeing the bottom of this page, maybe. Hopefully. Well, Man, I hope the rest of it turned out where you could see it. I'm sorry if you didn't, but hopefully we can go from there. So I've stuck this to the top of the page, and then they have punched a border to go across the middle. I made a border with the bird punch, and I added like a laser border and a couple other strips, and they're adding it right here. I'm gonna not stick it down until I add the photo mat. They have a mat here down at the bottom, which is 8.5 by 9, and I have in the email or the introductory thing, I had the project recipe with the measurements, but I will resend this as well, just so you can see that. But I'm going to add that. That's your 8.5 by 9, which you can put 2 photos on. And then I'll adjust this down a little bit. Go ahead and stick that on. Ah, that's what I messed up on. This you put down, not all the way at the top, you leave a small margin at the top. I was thinking that doesn't look right. And this, then your border goes at the bottom of that 6 by 12. All right, and so that way you have a little bit of that blue showing up, or whatever your paper is. Then I have yes, here's my 2 4 by 4.5 inch photo mat. They go on here. If I can get it on there, good. And then they have a 5 by 4 mat. Here. And a 4 by 4. Or if you don't want to use a mat, you can just use a photo of that size. And that's your basic second side. I will add some more embellishments and other things, and I'm going to put my verse, I think right on I'll add my verse to the first page, like right here. Somewhere on here, and then I have room for something else if I want. So I'll stick that down and do those miters. But now that I've showed you this one, let me show you a couple of others. I wanted to do a nativity version. So this has a stable, and let me put this over this way a little bit. A stable, and then the angels who would be singing and making a joyful noise here. So that's one version. You can see I kind of changed up the mat sizes here and left the stable open instead of a solid thing, and I added some points to this circle to make it a star. I also did a caroling version, which is the first thing that I thought of, that I thought, oh, I'd really like to do that with a church. And I put the little doors, and I have a 3 by 4 peekaboo pocket, so this door I can add more photos in and open and shut it. And the carolers here, and then you have a little bit different sized photos here, so I could put the verse here. The original was the gingerbread house, and it has cardstock that you have to draw your lines in. I did not put a verse on this one. I'm using this as my December calendar. So I did a calendar page on the other side, and instead of doing a whole row of punched, I used paper that had the gingerbread men on it and just added a little bit here and added a border here. So my photos will not be the same on the second side as the project recipe, but I thought it was a really cute design, and I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you do too, and I look forward to seeing some people maybe later this month, December 30th. Merry Christmas until I see you again.